These testimonials are representative of my or our experiences, but the exact results and experience will be unique and individual to each person. The information provided herein is not medical advice and is not intended to substitute for the advice of your personal physician or other healthcare providers. Welcome to The Beautiful Bag. This is your host, LeeAnne Hayden, cancer survivor, and more importantly, Ostomy lifer. Each and every week, I'm going to be bringing a special guest or some inspiration for you and a few little stories along the way so that you can learn what life is like for us to be living in an ostomy and why we all think it's a beautiful bag. So listen in and let's get started. Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Beautiful Bag podcast. I am your host, LeeAnne Hayden, and today we're going to talk about something that is deeply personal and yet very important to discuss. And that is navigating intimate relationships and dating with an ostomy. Now, I am recording this on my 16th year wedding anniversary. John and I have been together for 22 years, married for 16, blended the family of 5, all adult children now, and now we have some grandchildren. But it has been brought up over and over again, just how do people deal with intimacy and how do people deal, inside your relationships and even getting into dating. Now, I'm not dating, again, I'm married, but I've talked to many of you who have been out in that dating world. So I'm going to touch a little bit on that as well. And I spoke with John just a couple of days ago, and it was the first time I ever asked him. I said, would you be willing to get on the podcast with me at some point? So not today, but at some point, and really kind of go through what it was like for you, being my spouse, being my husband, what it was like for you to go through all the things with me. And to see me go through everything that I had gone through. And we're going to get to that, but that won't be today. Today is a prelude to that. So what we're going to talk about, again, like I said, is navigating intimate relationships and dating with your ostomy. And again, as someone who has some experience in this journey firsthand, being in an ostomy, I just kind of wanted to share some of my insights and my experiences. So this way I can offer and guide give a little guidance to some of you who may be facing similar challenges or are considering dating with an ostomy, or even for those of you who are already married. And understanding some of these things can help strengthen your relationship. It's something that happened, between John and I. We got stronger in our relationship from this. So if you're ready, sit back, relax, because we're going to just dive right in here. All right. So whether you're single and contemplating dating, or already married like me, embracing your ostomy journey is vital, right? It's something that you have to come to terms with. Your ostomy is now a part of who you are, and it does not define your worth. And I say this a lot. It doesn't define your worth or your ability to love and to be loved. That is something that is huge and very important. It's essential for you to cultivate a self-love and acceptance, and recognizing that you are deserving of a fulfilling and a loving relationship. And I do have, if you are struggling, I do have a free guide on my website. Just go to LeeAnneHayden.com, and it's all about building confidence and confidence mantras and confidence tips for yourself, because we need to really dig deep into who we are. And we do need to love ourselves, right? We have to truly love ourselves, because again, for most of us, what happened to us isn't something that we asked for, right? It's not like we woke up one day and said, please give me an ostomy. Some people have, right? Some people who had suffered strongly with Crohn's and colitis and have pain and all of that. And even, us with cancer, we did decide to do it, to have the surgery, but it's what happens to us after, right? Our emotional roller coaster that we go through, that we've talked about before in the past. So we do have to really work hard on building that self-love, and that confidence, right? So for those of you who are dating, remember, confidence and self-assurance can be attractive qualities just in general, right? That draw others to you. That goes in recognition to everything. I think a lot of people think that when you go to get into a relationship, it's how you look on the outside that matters, and it truly isn't. It's who you are on the inside. It's your uniqueness. It's your confidence. It's your self-assurance. It's who you are. It's your loving, caring nature that is more attractive to people, right? So we need to, right? We should, and I hope you're open enough to be hearing this, is you need to embrace your uniqueness and share your journey openly when you feel comfortable in doing so. I have had a few guests on this podcast who they talked about, because a lot of people are younger now in an ostomy, and they talked about, what dating life has been like with them. And when they decide to let someone know they're in an ostomy. It's not probably the first words out of their mouth, but they're getting to know someone. And before intimacy starts, it's that conversation that you need to have and let someone know, like, hey, listen, this is something that happened to me. And this is where I am in this world. This is where I am in this part of my life. And I have an ostomy. And sometimes people have no idea what it even is. And so you need to have that conversation, right? So and even for us that are married, right, is that conversation of really being unique and saying, hey, listen, I'm being very vulnerable here in this relationship. I'm being very vulnerable in this conversation. I know it's not easy on you. It's not easy on me. So here's how I feel. So, honesty is the foundation of any strong relationship. And this applies to both new dating experiences and established marriages. And if you're dating and considering a deeper connection, honest communication about your ostomy is absolutely essential. And when the time feels right, have that sincere conversation with your potential partner about your ostomy. Share your experiences, share your feelings, and how it might impact your relationship. Being open and vulnerable will create trust and understanding. And you have to have that self-love of yourself, right? You have to have that confidence within yourself to know that you are way, way more than just your ostomy. And most times you'd be pleasantly surprised that people would be like, oh, well, explain a little more. Well, that's not a big deal, because I like who you are. And as a person, I like who I've got to know as a person. And if somebody does have a problem with that, I hope you know it's not about you. It's about them, and they are not strong enough to handle it, right? But you're strong enough to be able to share that experience with them. And for those of us that are already in a committed relationship, open communication is equally crucial. Sharing our feelings and experiences related to our ostomy with our spouse, we have to do that. We have to let them know how they can support us, right? And be there and so that we can be there for each other throughout this entire journey, because this is, for most of us, a lifelong thing that's going to happen. And I can't speak for my husband. And again, we will get him on here. However, I do know it's been 7.5 years, and intimacy has not been an issue because we both have been very open about it, and about, how we feel. And so one of the things that you want to know is whether you're dating or already married, choosing the right time and place to discuss your ostomy is vital. Allow your relationship to develop naturally before revealing this intimate aspect of your life. You'll know when the time is right. For those of you in new relationships, pick a comfortable and private setting where you both can openly discuss your experiences and feelings without feeling rushed or judged. Meaning, don't, as you're sitting out to dinner, if you're in a crowded restaurant, it's probably not the time to have that conversation, but find that place that you can have that quiet discussion that will need to happen, right? And for married couples, for us, find a moment when you can both be present and attentive to each other. Some of you may have children running around, and some of us may, just have a busy life with work and everything else, but we need to make sure that we sit down and have that present and attentive time to have this conversation. And it could be during a quiet evening at home or out on a walk together. But the key is to create that safe and supportive environment, not just for your partner, but for yourself too, where you feel strong and in a great place. So, let's embrace intimacy. Let's talk about that right now. So intimacy, it's an essential part of any romantic relationship, including marriage. If you're dating someone new, remember the physical intimacy may require open communication and experimentation to find out what works best for both of you. And for married couples, continuing to explore intimacy with our partners can help deepen our connections and strengthen our bonds. We need to be open to trying new things and maintaining a strong emotional connection with it, right? Because sometimes it might be, we might as well talk about this, right? So, if we're being intimate and, you're in that traditional man on top kind of, position, or you're in that position, is the bag pushing against the person's skin? Is it full? Do we need to go and step away and take care of our bag so it's clean? Is the spontaneity, I don't know. I can only talk about this from my perspective. And again, we've been together for 22 years and we still love it to be intimate, but it's, we used to be way more spontaneous when we were younger than we are now. However, I do know now with myself, I do make sure that my bag is empty and clean and not leaking. Like, I do pay a little bit more attention to that. Do we have moments of being spontaneous? Of course we do. And I just am like, okay, am I in the right mental state where I can enjoy this as well before we go further? So I double check that. And sometimes I'm like, just give me one hot second. Just give me one hot second and I'll be right back. But so those are just some of the things you need to do. Just again, it all falls down to that confidence, right? So for those of you, here's some tips for considering, to consider when you're considering dating, right? If you're ready to start dating again with an ostomy, here's some valuable things to think about, right? Embrace yourself. The biggest thing you can do is embrace yourself. Love yourself first and foremost. Ostomy and all. Your confidence will be attractive to potential partners, and you never know who you're going to meet, right? Be open and honest. When you feel the time is right, share your ostomy journey with your date. Honesty and open communication, they both lay the foundation for a strong connection. Choose supportive partners. So important. Surround yourself with individuals who are empathetic and understanding, right? Look for someone who appreciates you for who you are. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we can say this could go for anyone who is even doesn't have an ostomy, right? We need to surround ourselves with individuals who think that we are important, right? People who appreciate who we are. So, and then lastly, guys, take it slow. Take it slow. There's no rush to reveal your ostomy when you're dating. There's no rush to it. Allow the relationship to develop on its own. Just take your time, have fun, enjoy yourselves. Completely keep that communication open. Sometimes it's harder, sometimes it's easier, sometimes you don't know in the situation, what's going to happen in a situation. So just know that if someone's not willing to accept you for who you are, that's about them. That's not about you. You are beautiful and deserve loving, caring, kindness. You deserve to be with someone who appreciates you. And to all of my married fellow ostomates out there, and to those who are dating, I would love to get your feedback on things that have worked for you. How has it been for you in your relationships? And maybe what I should do is have just a couple of round tables with a few of us discussing what it has been like to date or to be married and to be intimate with our partners. So those are just some of the tips, some of the little bit things, some couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about today. I thought that it was important. Like I said, it's my wedding anniversary today. So I appreciate you guys so much. And on a topic that has nothing to do with intimacy, however, it has to do with getting together with other people. Next month, August, in August, go to ostomy.org. UOAA is having a conference in Houston, Texas from, I believe I'm doing this on the top of my head. It is August 9th to the 10th to the 13th. I will be flying in on the 9th and I will be there till the 13th. And if you want to connect with me, I am going to be at the Hollister Incorporated's booth during booth hours. And then other than that, I'm going to just be wandering around, listening to the topics, hanging out with all the other ostomates, getting to know each and every one of you. So if you are around and you want to come to the conference, grab your tickets, come on down, come to Houston in August. I know it's going to be hot, but it will be fun. We will all be together. Stop by the table of the Hollister booth and come say hi to me. So that is what I had for you for this week. So as we conclude this episode, I want to remind you again that your ostomy does not define you or your relationships. Embrace your journey with self-love and acceptance. That's huge, guys. And remember that the right person will cherish you for who you are. For those dating with an ostomy, approach new connections with honesty, openness, and patience. For those of you already married, continue to communicate and support each other on your journey. Thank you again so much for joining me today on the Beautiful Bag podcast. And if you ever have any questions or want to share your experiences, please feel free to reach out to me. Just head on over to my website, LeeAnneHayden.com. Don't forget to go over there anyways and grab your free confidence guide. Send me an email or connect with me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is LeeAnne Hayden. But until the next time, take care and remember that love knows no boundaries, ostomies or not. We'll chat again soon. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for joining us this week. If you enjoyed this podcast, get the behind the scenes at LeeAnneHayden.com/ostomy updates. And also, if you found this episode encouraging, please screenshot it and share it on Instagram. And don't forget to tag me and also the person who was on the episode with me. I occasionally will do special gifts for anyone who does do a screenshot and share it on Instagram or in your stories. Also, lastly, please go to Apple or Google, rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast to keep up with them every single week. I enjoy you guys. Thank you so much for being here.